Good evening, everyone. It is Saturday night, March 4th, and I'm here to give you an update on the stitching that I was able to get done today. I didn't get to stitch very much, and quite frankly, most of my stitching supplies with my whips I'm taking with me, they're packed up already. They're in my travel bag that I take to my stitching meetups. So I decided to go back to my prompts and look at something I could stitch that was not in an area that required a minimum number of stitches. That way, whatever I got done on it was going to be okay. And I looked and found that I had a prompt in the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic that was on a roller frame, and I thought, this is perfect. I've been trying to work on my roller frame pieces before I go and try to get some of those prompts met. So today's prompt was to meet the second P in the word impromptu. The first P is pandemic, and I haven't done that one yet. The second P is Puntinipuntini, and that is the designer of my When I Think of Cross Stitch. So I pull this out, and I'll put a picture in here of where I was when I got started. And I picked it up today and said I'll just keep moving across this way and just do whatever comes next. So, if you can tell, there is a little sampler behind the word stitching. So you can see there's a little alphabet that is interwoven all behind those letters. And then there's the little sampler trees in the house. And then you've got a background that kind of defines where that little sampler is. So I decided tonight to start working on the words because I could count off of my stitching letters and get all those done. And my goal tonight that I set for myself, instead of a number of stitches, was that I wanted to finish the alphabet in that little sampler if I could. And I am very happy to tell you that I did. And I hope you can see it. I did it in the called for colors, and I think it's going to be okay because remember the background will be behind all of that too, so it'll stand out a little bit more. But I got A to Z in there, so I'm really, really happy with that. And I'm also happy that it was 212 stitches to make it happen. So when I normally do my acrostics and I don't have a number that's required, you know, I try to get at least 200 in there. And I didn't even do that tonight. I just tried to get the alphabet done. That was my goal. As it turned out, it was 212 stitches. So I met my stitching goal in number of stitches as well. So that was kind of nice. So there you go. The Puntinipuntini, When I Think of Stitching, has now met my prompt, that the only prompt that I have designated for it this month. Now, that means if I pull it out again, it would be for one of my challenges in the Daily 30 group, you know, because we have challenges that are posted on Fridays. And this Friday's challenge looks very interesting, but I haven't even begun to look at how I can meet it yet because I've been so busy getting ready for the trip, but that's okay. All right, so Puntinipuntini is done for now. I'm gonna put it away and I am gonna call it a night. It's not terribly late. It's, I take that back. It is terribly late. Yes. My husband and I watched the first episode of Survivor tonight, and I didn't realize how long it was going to be as the first episode. And so we were up a lot later than we had planned on. So Coco and my husband just went to bed a few minutes ago. I came up here just to film this little segment because we leave in the morning for the beach, and I don't know that I'll get any stitching or filming done tomorrow. So, you know, I wanted to be sure I captured this while I was home so that I could put a picture of it in here for you. and put it away. So, I hope you're having a great weekend. It's Saturday night. I hope you've had a good day. My husband and I went to our downtown area has a square, and there are restaurants and buildings and businesses all around the square. And there's a new restaurant, a couple of them, that share a space together. During the day, it's a lunch spot. It's called Sweet Magnolia, and they have all kinds of soups and sandwiches and salads, and a lot of it is homemade by the owners, and it's very good, and it's very crowded. People love Sweet Magnolias. In the evening, they only serve at Sweet Magnolias, they're only open until 3 in the afternoon. So between 3 and 5, they completely turn it over to look like something else. And there is a wine bar at one end of the building, and if you go back a little bit further, right past Sweet Magnolias is a new pizza place. It's a small place, and you order the pizza that you want, and you go sit down out in the main area where all the people sit from whatever they're eating, whether it would have been Sweet Magnolias or from the wine bar up front, or the pizza place. They share all that seating out there, and they come find you. You know, they just go through the place calling your name and bring you your pizza. It was good pizza. My husband and I enjoyed it. But what we really liked is that they had 2 musicians, a man and a lady, one was playing an acoustic guitar and the other was playing viola or a violin. I'm not sure. I couldn't see well enough. Can't see well enough right now to know what she was playing. But it sounded wonderful together. And they were playing just all kinds of music. They'd hit on one movie and play a couple of songs from it, and then they'd hit on a singer. Like they played 2 of Cyndi Lauper's songs back to back, and then they swapped over and did some Mary Poppins, and then they swapped over and did another movie. It was great. It was soft and fun. And just kind of in the background, you could still talk. They weren't too loud. It was so enjoyable. We had a great time. So we'd like to invite a couple of our couples friends to go with us next time. We can share a pizza. We can listen to the music. It'll be a lovely evening. So we've got that on the burner for when we get back. Will be a fun time. So vacation starts tomorrow. It's a travel day, so we'll be traveling. But hopefully by Monday morning, I'll have everything unpacked, everything flowing, meals ready, and I'll get to stitch. I hope so anyway. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope you get some stitching time in there too. Happy stitching, everybody. Good morning, everyone. I guess you can tell by the marlin behind me. We are at the beach house that we've rented. We've been here before and we love the location, so we came back again. We traveled most of the day yesterday. We got here about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. We take our time when we travel with Coco, when we get out and play with the ball and walk her, and it went really well this time. We actually gave her medication to calm her down because she gets so anxious, and she pants and just pants and pants and trembles when she's in a car for a long time. So yesterday she did really, really well. She sat in the front seat just next to Tommy for a little while, maybe an hour or more at a time. And then most of the time though, she was in the back seat with me. Tommy can't let her lean all over him, and he can't pet her and love on her the way she wants going on a long trip. So he has to make her stay in her seat, and she just can't stand it. She wants to be touching somebody. So she'll crawl in the back seat with me, crawl into my lap, but she stands on the seat and puts her front feet on one of my legs or both, and looks out the window, front, side, back and forth. She wants me touching her, calming her, I guess, the whole time, and I don't mind a bit. I love it. I get to hold her. She doesn't like to be held very much. So that was a great trip down. We got here. Tommy took her out for a little walk to stretch her legs. Unloaded the ice chest and, our food baskets and got everything ready. And I had planned a really quick supper, just a salad we fell in love with at a restaurant in Macon called the Green Jacket. And it's just a beautiful tall salad with a beautifully herbed salad dressing on it with pita chips. And then I had made some chicken salad at home. And so I was able to whip that out. We had a chicken salad for dinner, and didn't have to get out anything to cook, It was mostly done. So this morning I got up. The cleaning lady that helps out here for the people who own this has illness in her family. Her husband has cancer, and she could not get here this time. So Marianne had warned me that it might not look as fresh. And we've had that pattern in the past because whoever stays here ahead of you cleans when they leave, and some people clean differently than others. So when I got here, the kitchen was beautifully clean. The bathroom wasn't so much. So I did that this morning, got that out of the way. I've got lunch prepped, ready to go. I'll wait and see what time Tommy gets to leave to run, and I'll time lunch for when he gets back. So last night after dinner, after getting everything unpacked and put away, I sat down to stitch. I didn't have a long time to stitch. I was tired. Riding in a car is tiring. I don't know why. However, I knew I had a prompt that I could do for 24 hours of cross stitch, a cross stick, that you can just do whatever you want. You don't have a set number of stitches or anything. So I picked up my little piece I'm doing for my friend Cheryl, this little Raggedy Ann doll. And I just love how she's turning out on this polka dot. And I will tell you, I wanted to do the blouse and her hands and what she was holding. That's what I wanted to get done. I didn't set a goal of stitches, just what I wanted to accomplish. And I got most of that done. And then I realized I can't read the pattern. I can't determine what colors are it's a colored pattern and it's tiny. And I can't determine what they are for the teapot. So I'm gonna have to wait till after surgery to do that. And hopefully I can see it then. If not, I'll blow it up on the computer when I get home on my printer. I'll enlarge it and then I'll be able to see it. So I got everything done except that little teapot. And here she is. I think she is adorable. She's holding that candy cane. And over here will be the teapot sitting in her hand. But I got her blouse done and her hands done and the candy cane done. There are 3 colors of green in that blouse. And then now what you see here is a pale green, and unfortunately I didn't have it in my box, my floss box. I don't know why. I think because I was trying to just pull colors for her and not the whole stocking, I may have missed that one. So I'll grab it when I get home and I'll finish those 3 little stitches. But then the rest of that is gonna be a little white, like pinafore. And then her stockings, and then the little ball she's sitting on. So I'm ready to start the little white pinafore on the next time that I pick her up. So I'm looking forward to that. And this actually gave me 227 stitches. And you know, when I don't have a guide, if I don't have a goal, I like this little girl's blouse all the way across in her 2 hands, then I do 200 stitches. Well, they're back, so I'll let you go, and I will catch up with you the next time I have some stitching. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. It is now the evening of the 6th of March. We've had a wonderful day. Coco is now on her way to the beach with Tommy Tide is out, so they have a lot of beach to run on and play on. I'm excited for that. Tommy took a run today. I cooked a nice, huge lunch. We did a Mexican style lunch today. Big salad, a little chicken burrito, a little chicken enchilada, and you know, beans, and just had a wonderful meal. Tonight we're doing a turkey sandwich, just light. We like to have our heavier meal at lunch and then have our lighter meal at dinner, especially when we're here on vacation. It got to be around 80 degrees today, or 76, somewhere in there. It was nice and warm, but it felt good in here. It was nice and cool, so that's okay. So today I chose to work on my By the Bay, that is my 13th colony. And I am over here in this section. And this time what I did is I picked up from about the middle of these bushes, or the greenery rather, right where those little bushes are on the bottom. And I went all the way to the end of the page. I started at the bottom and just kept doing a row and a row and a row until I got 386 stitches today. So here's where I'm at. I started right around in here and just stitched all of this today. 3 different colors of green. Isn't that a beautiful gradient of color? That's lovely. My eyes are really bothering me today. I'll go ahead and tell you that. I have been wearing prescription glasses, old prescription glasses with readers on top of them, right in front of them. And then these are my most recently purchased readers. They're the strongest readers they had at the shop. When I purchased them, I think they're like 3.5 or something like that. And this morning, I couldn't see this. It was blurred. And so my bottom row, I struggled and struggled and struggled, and it would look wrong and I would frog it. And then when I'd go back, and I'd find myself going in the same holes because they were right. So I got really frustrated this morning, and I wound up having to put my readers on top of my real strong readers that I have on here. And so to me, that's an indication that it's gotten worse. My vision is continuing to blur for close up as I await surgery. So no doubts whatsoever that I need to have this done as soon as possible. I am gonna put this away for the evening. This is my beautiful Garon tote bag that I keep it in. I thought that was a pretty spring looking bag for this beautiful summery spring piece that I have here. So I am gonna be working on a whip go call for the rest of the evening, because I won't finish what I have to do with it tonight, and I can go on and work on it some more tomorrow. But basically the call is a new start, and it is the Erica Michaels sewing bee, I think it is. It's a berry, and it's a bee. And so I want to get it started, and my whip go requirement is 5 hours. So if I start on it tonight and get an hour or 2 in after dinner, then tomorrow, hopefully throughout the day, I could get 3 hours on it, and I will have met a whip go goal while here on vacation. So I'm pulling this out of the Q-snap so I can show you how pretty this is looking. This is the one, I think I've mentioned it almost every time I show it to you. I try to remember to tell you that I'm going to do the 3 patterns together as one. So that's why the fabric is so very long. But here's where it is so far. And that is the end right there of the first panel. So now I'll have panel 2 and panel 3, right, just one continuous picture as we go. So I'm excited. I think it's looking really good. There's still a lot of stitching to finish this one. I didn't put this down to try to finish it while I'm here. I just wanted to hit those the 300 stitches because it hit 3 prompts today. It was 13th colony, and I spelled it out for the T in 24 hours of cross stitch and in the monthly magazine challenge. But for my daily 30, I'm not sure that they would accept me spelling out the number because in the title it actually is a number. So I thought, well, to be safe, I said it was for the trees in it because there's a giant tree, very obvious in the piece, and then there are trees all along the hillsides as well. And you can stitch it for an object in the piece, so that'll work just fine. Okay, that is my stitching so far today. I probably won't come back and film again, even if I work on my new start tonight, because I won't have finished the 5 hours. So I'll wait till I complete that, and then I'll show you what I got done on that new start, which is awesome. Well, as you can see by the lighting, the sun is going down. I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna make our light dinner and be ready when they get back from the beach to have dinner on the table. And then maybe afterwards I'll either stitch or we'll play cards or something, watch a movie together or something like that. We are here on vacation, so I do have to remember that I have to give time to other people while I'm here, even though I'm in the same room, you know. I think my husband would enjoy playing some cards tonight, so that's probably what we'll do. Have a great day, whatever you're doing. I'm looking forward to tomorrow because I get to stitch with my friend Lori from Once Upon a Stitch. And this will only be the second time we've gotten to stitch and talk to one another. She's got a new grandbaby. I'm so excited for her. But we're going to catch up and stitch, and so I think that'll be wonderful. I can't wait. So I'll have that to look forward to tomorrow as well. Well, good night, everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And in the meantime, happy stitching. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It's March 7th. It is Tuesday. And I am here to talk to you a little bit about my stitching. This morning, I got busy on my Whip Go call, the first one, and that was A New Start, The Sewing Bee by Erica Michaels. And I decided I wanted to do this one because I've got all the little pins and things to go with it. And then I went and completely did something different. I started it. And as I was stitching on it, I was reminded of a friend recently that I took out to lunch for her birthday. And while we were having lunch, she just said she was looking for some sort of kit or something she could get for me to stitch her just something really small because she wanted something from me in her house. This is not a lady who stitches. This is not someone that I had thought of stitching for because I didn't know that she really liked it that much. But I was so flattered that she wanted something of mine in her home. And I thought, well, okay, I don't just stitch for just anybody. You know that. Most of you don't either. But I thought, well, I said, don't buy a kit. Let me just look around and find something that I like, that I think you'll like. And so as I got started on this today, I had done this arch here. I had started the honeycomb over here, and I got to thinking about it and said, you know what? This would make a beautiful small for my friend. I think I'll personalize it and make it a little bit different, and just use this pattern to go off of, and that's what I did. So this is from my friend CJ, and I'm hoping that I get it to her before she sees it, but who knows. Anyway, I took this arch that went across the top here, and I just inverted the arch from the top and put it right there on the bottom to make a circle. Put her initials in and a heart for my friend. Got flowers because she loves them, and that was in the pattern, so it worked out really, really well. I thought it was really pretty. The pattern calls for one of these in blue, but I wasn't going to do the big motif in blue, so I just kept it all in this simple colorway, and blue was the only color I didn't put in here. So now what I'm going to do is figure out how I want to finish this. Do I want to make it a little pillow, or do I want to make it a flat fold? I'm not quite sure. I was talking to my friend Lori today from Once Upon a Stitch. We got to Zoom and talk today and stitch together. And she recommended that I do something similar to what's on here for a pillow, to put some fabric right here in a pocket. Actually make it a little pocket at the bottom, and then I could write her a little note and put it in there, which I thought was really sweet. Very, very thoughtful. So I very well may do that. But the good news is I counted the stitches, and I had 524 stitches, and that is right at 5 hours, and it was a finish for me. So I consider that a completion of that whip goal. So that goal has been met. Yay. That's awesome. So now I have picked up another piece that you will be very, very familiar with because you've seen it a lot. And I mentioned to Lori today as we were talking that I really want to get a finish on this. So as we've been talking today with Lori, I did this snowflake, the word joy, and these two little pennies here. I think they call them penny rugs or something. So now I'm up here. I got to work on this humongous stitching of white and the chicken, and then this little house, and I'll do that side over there. So I may not finish it today, but I may work on it additional days coming up to the end of the week. But I will officially say I am setting a goal to finish this one. So you can see I'm outlining that so I can just do fill in while my husband and I watch TV or something. I would love to finish the sheep and the little bird and the house tonight if I can. But I have to stop now. I have to get dinner for my family. I have to feed Coco and my husband and I. So I'm gonna do that. And then after dinner, possibly have some more stitching time. So, just wanted to give you an update, and just so excited about meeting a whip goal. I'm very, very happy about that. So we'll talk soon, and I'll show you what I've been working on. Otherwise, I'm gonna enjoy the vacation, and I hope you're enjoying your week. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's the 8th of March, and I am here to tell you a little bit about my stitching over the last couple of days. I have been busy. Showed you a finish that I hadn't planned on yesterday, and then between yesterday afternoon and this morning, I have been stitching on Teresa Kogut's Joyful Scene. This was one of my projects that I started in the 22 and 22 for Christmas in July last year. And it was one I just kind of been working on for prompts as I went along the way. But between yesterday and today, I stitched on this project for over 900 stitches and stopped and went ahead and recorded in the Facebook group for the 3 prompts that I had already met. I only had to stitch 300 stitches to meet them, and I was at 900, so I just decided to stop and go ahead. So the prompts that I met were for the monthly magazine challenge. It was for the Tea and Charge It, and that's Teresa Kogut for Joyful Scene. And then in 24 hours of cross stitch, I had to be a little more creative with it, and it was for the letter U in impromptu, and the U stood for underneath each other because the animals are stacked on top of each other in the joyful scene. And then for my daily 30 acrostic, the one that requires 300 stitches, I used it for a T as well for Teresa Kogut, for the designer's name. So I kept stitching. I went ahead and posted that, and I just kept going because I was getting so close to a finish. And you know how that is for me. I just keep going. So this afternoon, I finished it. So here is Teresa Kogut's Joyful Scene. Now mine is just slightly different from hers in one place. And that is on the far side over here. There's some more of these penny quilt shapes. And I'm not going to do that border line all the way around to frame it. I'm going to actually allow a mat to be that border. So I didn't want to do any more of the penny rugs. I have 3 up here and 2 down here, so they're at the top and the bottom. But this side didn't have any. It was blank. And this side had several. And I didn't want that. I didn't want it to be off one side with nothing. So I just left them off so that I'd have top and bottom and not on the sides. So when I did that, I moved this snowflake down to kind of fill in where that largest penny rug would have been, because it had more space there. And I just dropped it down there and put that one snowflake right there instead of kind of up around here, because it replaced the penny. So there you go. Lovely, lovely piece. It was fun to stitch. It was a lot of stitches. A lot of stitches. And I will show you too the eyes. The eyes were called for in a really dark, dark brown. And I've done mine in a blue-green color, just so they stand out just a tiny bit more. And I will also tell you too that in the pattern, you can see the outline here for the nose, the back stitching for the nose, but I could not find the directions for that to give me the color for that anywhere on anything. So I just felt like the closest color it was to this one, and I used the one strand of it, and I think it probably was the right guess because it looks just like the picture. So there you have it, Joyful Scene from Teresa Kogut, and that is a finish. So I'm excited about that. Now, I'm gonna say goodbye for now. My husband and I are going out to a local restaurant tonight here in St. Simons that we love, and we try to go there every time we come if we can, and tonight's the night, so I'm excited about that. And I'm gonna go ahead and say happy stitching, and that I hope you're doing well and having a great week, and I hope to have more to show you later on in the week. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Thursday. It's March 9th. I'm here to give you an update on my stitching for the last couple of days. Yesterday, I think I filmed when I had finished working on one of my projects, which was a finish, Joyful Scene, that I stitched to a finish yesterday. And then today, I wanted to tell you that I kept stitching last evening after my husband and I played some cards, and he went to settle down to watch some YouTube or perhaps even a game show or two. I'm not sure. He was right over there on the other side of the room watching TV, but I had my earphones in. That's why I'm not sure what he was watching really. I was watching Floss too while I stitched, and I was working on a prompt yesterday, and I was working on my May wordplay, and I was checking to make sure it wasn't upside down. Anyway, I wanted to stitch at least 300 stitches on this for a prompt, and I actually was using it in the 2 acrostics 3 actually. St. Patrick's is an acrostic in the daily 30, but that's the one that requires 300 stitches. And so I was trying to get at least 300 stitches in here. And I am happy to report I got 431 stitches in this last night. And I stitched late. I was up till about midnight, but you know, I'm on vacation. So that was okay. Here's where I got to. I think it's just precious. When you saw it last, I did not have this little wheelbarrow and birds at all. And the word seeds said S-E-E. The DS wasn't there. I did the water can and the word May, and then a time to plant also. So from this spot right here all the way across the top that you see, and then that column May, the water can, and the last 2 letters of seeds is what I got done last night. So I'm tickled. Now this is the end for over here. That's as big as it's going to be, which is good because this one is on 28 count and it's larger than the others that I've done. So it's a good thing I'm going to finish them individually and not worry about it. But there you go. There's my May wordplay. And I might, if I have time to stitch tonight, I might pick it back up so I have it out over here to work on it. I'm not going to try my new start, my second new start for Whip Go because I just don't have time. We leave in the morning and I am cooking dinner tonight, although my husband offered to go get us something. I already had the chicken thawed out and I already have the vegetables to roast. I've already got them chopped and ready to go because I try to prep as much as I can early in the day and then I can stitch till I have to cook. So I told him, that's okay, I've already got it started. But I appreciated the thought, you know, that was nice of him. But today was my day to stitch with my friend Glow, and we are stitching along on Miss Christmas Eve. We started, both of us, somewhere toward the middle. I started just at the green above the page break and went up. I felt like that was less daunting to me to do the smaller part first. And my friend Glow started at the green and said, I'm just going to get all the green done. And so she went down to work on that beautiful skirt. So to me, it's like she's wearing a Christmas tree. Isn't it just gorgeous? Or ferns. I don't know, you know, just gorgeous, gorgeous. So, oh, I haven't even taken it out of the Q-snap. That is how soon I just finished stitching today. So I remember a segment recently when I was talking about what I was bringing with me, and I said that I would be stitching on this with my friend Glow, but I wasn't going to set the goal to do her face and hair and everything because I felt like it would be too much, you know, of a goal. As it turns out, I did not realize this, but a good portion of that part of the stitching is beaded. It's not even stitched. So today, as Glow and I were talking, after I realized I had used the wrong color of skin, for her face, I had used the lighter color where the darker color was supposed to be, so I definitely had frogged that. So after I frogged all that out, about, I don't know, 60 stitches or so, I had to restitch it in the proper color, and of course then stitch it in the color, the other color that goes with her face for her highlights. And I thought, well, this is great. I should be able to get her face done. And that was what I was hoping, to get all her face done. And then when Glow and I got off the phone, it was still quite early for me, and I didn't have to stop and cook lunch for a couple of hours yet. I kept stitching. And then my husband and I ate here at the house. I made lunch for us, and after I cleaned everything up and put everything away and cleaned off the table, I thought, you know, I've got a long time between now and supper. I want to stitch on my Christmas Eve today for a little bit longer, and Glow and I don't mind. we're not saying we have to be stitching it exactly together and finish together. We stitch together on it when we talk, and that's something new we just started a couple of weeks ago, and we love it. I know that Stitch and Mommy does that with Desiree, her friend Desiree, and they finished one. Um, I think she was doing just a joyful something pattern, um, joyful dimensions or something. Anyway, it's his name is Jesus, I think. Um, I have that pattern. I hadn't started it, but they finished it, and now they've picked another pattern. And they only stitch it when they talk. So I think Glow and I have kind of got an adaptation of that. We stitch it on the day that we talk. For sure. If we want to stitch it any other time, I don't think either of us would mind at all. But we definitely save it to stitch on the day that we stitch together. And then today we were talking about, we have two other patterns that we know of that we both want to stitch, that we both have. And so when we finish this one, we may just go ahead and start another one together. And you know, that's kind of funny that we've just fallen into that. It makes it special, as Glow said today, you know, because when you look at it, you'll remember, oh, I was talking to my friend Glow, you know, the whole time I was stitching it. So anyway, I guess you know what's coming. I started on her hair and just kept stitching, and it's now about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I finished her head. All the cross stitching on her head. So let's just see what it looks like. Isn't she pretty? She's such a pretty lady. And she's pretty even though she's looking, you know, back over her shoulder kind of thing. But you see all of those spaces. Look at that. This is showing up well for me. I hope you can see it. There are holes, there are spaces all in her skin for beads and Karen water lilies and krynic and all that kind of stuff. And then if you look in her hair, all that open space above that bow in the greenery there, that's beads, all of it. I was so shocked. I actually was getting ready to stop stitching. I had finished the red in the bow, and I thought, you know, I think I'm done. And the next time I'll finish off her hair, and then I'll see if I need to stitch this little poof that goes off her head, off her bow. There is a big, you know, swirl out there. Well, all that's beaded, all that's beaded, all this is beaded, treasures, all this night. It's all beaded. And I'm not doing my beading because I'm working on Q-snaps until I finish all the stitching. I may look and see if I have a roller frame, but even at that, I can't get her on here all at one time. So I'm not gonna be able to beat her until I finish her. But I just wanted to share with you where she got to today. And I think she is lovely. These hands are holding parts of her skirt. I think it's a ribbon or something that she's holding. It's flouncing around her. So the next time I pick her up, I don't want to do any back stitching on the skin until I make sure that I'm not going to be in the way of any stitching, or that I haven't, you know, forgotten anything. When I start beading is probably when I'll do that. But if I check it and it's ready, I could do the back stitch next time. And then I have to start down on that beautiful skirt. So I'll be stitching skirt with Glow, but she's way ahead of me. She's already finished the darkest green, I think, and she's started on a second color of green on her today. But I'm going to take a picture of it and send it to Glow. Say, this is where I'm stopping for the day. Let her see that. That'll be fun. Well, Coco and my husband are off to their last trip to the beach while we're here. But it's been a lovely week. It's just been a lovely week. I've been able to stitch. My husband has, I think he's kind of enjoyed being here with me because he can sit right at the table where I'm sitting, and I'll be stitching away and he'll be just reading me things off his Facebook and talking to me about things. And normally at home, he's in the kitchen doing that, and I'm upstairs in my craft room. And so right now we have this proximity together where he's actually with me the whole time I'm stitching. I have waited to record till they're at the beach or walking each day. Just, I had one time I had to record while he was here, and he kept doing things he wasn't aware of. You know, he would go over and turn the faucet on to get water, or he would do the ice machine, you know, in the door, and you know. And so I kept having to pause it, and then I finally had to start over. And so I had to have a little chat with him and just say, could you give me 5 minutes? Just be still. Don't go and do anything. Just be still and let me record. He goes, do I have to be quiet like on a movie set? Not that bad, but you know, no ice machine and no faucet running and that kind of thing. It was so funny. He's totally unaware, you know, that it's picking up everything. Anyway, it's been fun. It's been a good adventure. We've had a good time. Well, I've been prattling on a lot because I've missed you guys, but I just wanted to let you know we've had a great time. We travel tomorrow, so probably won't record any tomorrow. I do have some great pictures of Coco, and I have a little bit of film at the beach, and I'll try to put that here at the end and let you see how much she's enjoyed her trip. And tonight, we will get ready to head home. So I'll see you next time, probably at the house in my normal stitching spot. And Saturday when we get home, Friday, the very next day is our stitching meetup at the library. And this is the week that we are, or the month that we are doing a tutorial. One of the ladies and Donna, Teresa and Donna are doing a tutorial on a round finish, a flat round finish, like an ornament finish. And I'm excited that they're doing that. They brought a lot of the supplies that they're providing for the group, and I published a list in our Facebook group of what you need to bring if you want to participate, what part you have to bring. And so I think that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see how it turns out. I hope to be able to share that with you too. So enjoy your stitching. I hope you're having a great week, and we'll talk soon. Happy stitching, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the 11th of March, and I'm here to tell you about my stitching progress. Today is Saturday, and it was our stitching meetup at the library today. So how fun. We had 22 ladies that were able, and one gentleman who were there to stitch today. It was fabulous. We had a wonderful crowd, and today was special because a couple of our members actually taught a finishing tutorial. They helped anybody that brought a round object that they had stitched that was at least would fit on a 4x4 round, and they also had some squares just in case. But they provided everything except the backing fabric and any trim that you wanted. We even had a cord maker there, you know, the little tool that Vonna uses. And these two ladies set up their tables with everything on it for everybody to finish. And just people came up 2 and 3 at a time. I think we had 7 people that wanted some help learning how to do a round ornament type finish. It was a padded ornament. Teresa and Donna did a great job. I think I brought a few supplies, and I think a couple of other people did too, just to donate for people to use. I didn't do a finished object today because 2 reasons. I was hoping that a young girl that is learning to stitch would be back today and I would get to work with her. And I also knew I had to leave early today because of a funeral my husband and I had to sing in. I think I've told you about that already. Anyway, But that meant I could just sit and stitch with those who were just stitching and not finishing. And it just worked out. People were just dispersed all around the room, stitching and finishing right next to each other. They'd go over to the table and learn what they needed to do, and then go sit down, and do their lacing and that sort of thing. And so everybody was just busy, busy, busy today, stitching or finishing and talking. It was just wonderful. It was a good day. I'm so sorry I had to leave early, but it went well. The sad news is a couple of the ladies in the stitching group came up to me while we were there stitching and asked if I had noticed on the library website newsletter that our stitching meetup has now been restricted to those that are 18 and older. We did not ask for that. We had originally, when we were questioned about it last year sometime, I said we didn't want an age limit on there because young children can learn to cross stitch, and that's usually when they're more interested in it. And that was no more evidence than last month. We had 4 students, one of which was an adult, and the other 3 were young girls, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 12-year-old. Well, today I went to clarify that and talk to the young woman at the library that we work with. She happened to be working today. They rotate Saturdays, and it happened to be her day. Yay! So I went and asked her if she was aware of that, if that was accurate, and she said, unfortunately, it was. The library has had a change in policy, and if you have children present for an event, if it's a children's event or if it's a family event, a library staff member has to be present the whole time. And of course, they're not going to pay someone to sit in the room with us all day while we stitch, just in case children come, to learn to cross stitch. And even though the children who come to learn to cross stitch have a parent with them, their parents have to stay. We don't babysit. The parents have to stay there with them. That's not good enough. Apparently, there have been some problems in some of the other, or some of the classes or whatever, that adults were using language that were not appropriate for children's ears. And so parents complained, rightly so, and they made a sweeping change. Isn't that the way we kind of handle stuff? Isn't that sad? Here we are trying to teach cross stitch, and the people who are more interested in learning are the younger people, and now they're not allowed to be there. Isn't that sad? The worst thing for me is that we have 4 young women who just started stitching last month and said they wanted to come back, and one of them showed up today. She came in the room, the stitching room. She didn't know she wasn't supposed to be in there. She came right in there asking for me because I had been working with her last month. And I had left about 30 minutes before that to go to the funeral that my husband and I had to go sing at. And she wouldn't work with anybody else. She just wanted to be with me. So, and I don't know how they would have worked it anyway because she's not supposed to be in there. So, oh. And the sad part is I had taken her a little kit that I made for her. I had her a little Q-snap, and I had found a kaleidoscope kit that had everything you need to stitch a little picture and then put it in the kaleidoscope and put, pretty trinkets and things in it. And I thought she might really enjoy that because it would be multi-craftual, and she said she really is interested in all sorts of crafts. And I didn't get to give it to her. So I'm hoping that she'll come back next month and won't say anything and just come in there. And then I'll let her mom know that not by our choice, but we're not allowed to have children in there anymore. And I'll just see if she wants to go sit out in the library and let me help her. Just sitting out at a table in there. So it's not at our event. And then if they say something about it, we'll have to make arrangements. I guess we could meet at a Panera Bread or something, and I could show her how to stitch. If she's really interested in stitching, I really want her to have the opportunity to learn, but, that's the way it goes. Okay, I've waxed on long enough about that. You can tell it bothered me. So today at the library, I was stitching on my May word play. I worked on it at the beach. I worked on it one of my full stitching days And then I had done just about 2 hours on it one night when I finished my sewing bee. So I got started working on this one. And I had a little bit left of it when I got to working on it today. So I worked on it yesterday evening. When we got home from the beach, I came up here and worked on it maybe a couple of hours. So today when I was sitting at the library, my friend Donna sitting next to me looked over and she said, "Now girl, you're almost finished with that." She said, "You gonna finish that today?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I came home after the funeral and I finished it today. Now this one is a little bit bigger than the others I've done. I've done the other months on 32 count. And this one I just wanted on this beautiful blue fabric, and I only count I had this color in, which is Summer Skies, was 28 count. And I thought, well, they're not going to be out together. They're going to each be out each month. So there you go. I think it's lovely. And I swapped out the blue. There was a called for blue. It was called Peacock. It was a specialty fiber, from one of the overdyes. And it's a beautiful kind of muted blue. I didn't have it. And so I was trying to get that kind of a shade of blue as best I could. And that was the closest I had to it. This is a DMC 825. And I think it pops. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. And with that pomegranate in there, that was sort of a little bit of a brighter color. I really, really liked it. Everything else is the same, except if you can tell, there are some little flowers stitched there in the call for color, which is the absolute color of my fabric. You can't see them. So I left those out above the flower pots over here. There were supposed to be a whole row of them. I just left them out. You don't need them. You can't see them anyway. And then this fence was the exact same color as that, I think it's 762, pale blue. And I thought the fence won't show up at all. So instead I used a gray that I had already used in the piece. So and I'm glad I did, because there's that gray watering can in the middle, and that color would not have been used anywhere else. So using it in the fence, I think, kind of spreads the color across the piece. You see it, more than once, and so I think that looks good. Anyway, I like this one, and I'm glad I changed out the colors that I did, because I kind of like the brighter colors. They've been kind of dark. And so I may do that again. I may look at them and just swap out colors. So there you have it. It's done. It's finished. Yay. And I just noticed that there's supposed to be a blue stitch up here where the stars would be. So I'm going to stop right now and put that blue in the same blue that I used for the word in the lady's dress. And I'll correct that and get that done. I didn't stitch it because I was out of the blue, and I was waiting for it to come in. It hasn't. I don't know that I ever ordered it. I thought I did, but maybe not. Anyway, it's done. So there you go. So there's the stitching, and there's the stitching meetup. And so happy stitching, everybody.
Come here, Coco. Here, wait. Oh my goodness gracious. Wait. It's a stick. All right, go. 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 What are you doing? Come on, let's go. Let's go. Oh, no. No. Not that. There she goes. Zoom. Leave the toys alone. Come on. No, not the ball. No. go. Let's go. Let's go.